Okay, I think we can start. So good morning again and welcome everyone to this CyberSuite webinar about cyber awareness and upskilling for small medium enterprises. As you may know, this webinar is being recorded, and the recording will be available in the project website right after we finish. Also, you can ask any questions you have in the Q&A section in this meeting, and we will address all the questions at the end of the presentations. I will now pass the floor to Georgia Protogeru from Ubitech to start with the presentation.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Give me a sec to share my screen. Okay, do you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So, great. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. My name is Georgia Protogeru from Ubitech, and I'm very happy to welcome you to the fourth CyberSuite webinar. Today's webinar will focus on how SMEs can strengthen their cybersecurity awareness and skills through practical training, hands-on exercises, and accessible learning opportunities. During the session, Ubitech, with our partners from Joist and Incubit, will present the CyberSuite platform, the Academy, and the cyber range exercises that have been developed within the frame of the project. In addition, we have the great pleasure to have a representative from the NERO EU-funded project with us today, Mr. Haralambos Klitis, who will present practical cybersecurity awareness approaches and challenges from the perspective of the NERO project. Our goal today is not only to present the CyberSuite ecosystem, but also to show how SMEs and professionals can directly benefit from the available tools, the training material, and the exercises that we have developed within the frame of the project. So we are very happy to have you with us, and we hope that this session will be useful, practical, and interesting for all of you. So thank you again, and let's get started. I will start with a quick overview of the project. CyberSuite is a European project funded under the Digital Europe program, focusing on cybersecurity solutions for SMEs. The project brings together 12 partners from 8 countries, including small and medium enterprises, as well as a public organization. In this way, we combine different types of expertise with practical experience. The project started in January 2024 and will run until the end of this year with a total duration of 36 months. The main goal of the project is to provide a holistic cybersecurity framework that makes it easier for SMEs to design, deploy, and manage security services. In simple words, we aim to offer advanced cybersecurity tools in a way that is easy to use, easy to deploy, and accessible even for organizations without deep technical expertise. To achieve this, CyberSuite combines different technologies like security as a service solutions, personalized recommendations, intrusion detection, and cybersecurity analytics. Another important aspect of the project is trust and interoperability, ensuring that different tools from different vendors can work together in a reliable and secure way. Finally, the project will be validated through real use cases in different sectors. In particular, the use cases that we have is from the energy sector, railway, digital health, and agri-food. In reality, these pilots will help us to ensure that the solutions that we develop are practical, relevant, and ready to be used in real environments. Now I will conclude this brief introductory session by quickly presenting today's agenda. After this brief introduction, my colleague, Mr. Yannis Lidakis, the technical project manager of the project, will present the CyberSuite vision, platform, and marketplace. After that, the main session of today's webinar will start, where Mrs. Zoe Moza from Joist Innovation Park will present the CyberSuite Academy, including the available courses, learning paths, and how users can get started with the training material. Then we will move to the presentation from Incubate, where Mr. Yannis Makropodis and Mr. Yannis Koukoulis will showcase the cyber range exercises and the hands-on cybersecurity training opportunities available for SMEs, which have been developed within the frame of the project. After that, Mr. Haralabos Klitis from EBOS will present the cybersecurity awareness challenges and practical approaches from the perspective of the NERO project. Then we will have a Q&A session where you will have the opportunity to ask questions to all speakers. And finally, we will close this webinar with a short wrap-up and some final remarks. Before we move on to the presentations, I would like again to thank you for joining us today. We hope that you will find this session interesting and useful. Throughout the webinar, please feel free to submit your questions using the chat. We will collect all questions and address them during the Q&A session at the end. And with that, let's get started with our first speaker, Mr. Yannis Lidakis, who will present the CyberSuite vision as well as the platform and marketplace. So, Yannis, the floor is yours.
Good morning, and thank you everyone for joining. I will give you a brief overview before going into some deeper presentations in the specifics of CyberSuite. So as Georgia already explained, CyberSuite is a project that is targeting SMEs and trying to provide cybersecurity for SMEs in an easy to reach and absorb way. Because SMEs have multiple challenges to face when they have to do with cybersecurity. Most of them, most important from them being the limited resources that they have. Cybersecurity tools can be really expensive, but they are also can be complex. Many times there are complex solutions that are difficult to implement and utilize and manage. If we take also into account that there is constantly update and the rapid adoption of new technologies that are relevant to the SMEs in order to stay in the market. So many new tools, new technologies, complex software systems spawning with microservices and multiple components with a very extensive attack surface that can be exploited. This is another part of the challenges that SMEs have to face. This comes also in line with how easy it's to find qualified cybersecurity professionals in order to make these two worlds come together. So having a very difficult system that you want to protect and having complex solutions that are needed in order to provide protection. On top of this, we have also the compliance risk that it's very important because there are regulatory requirements and risk assessment challenges that SMEs, even the SMEs have to tackle, especially in the EU, because there are many legislations that have to be taken into account, like CRA. And it's not neither cheap nor easy to find the tools and the people to assist on this part. So what we want to build in CyberSuite is to have an integrated, an unified approach with an integrated cybersecurity platform that builds on top of multiple tools, and this is accessible to SMEs. Um, um, we want this to be easy by making it smart. So intelligent protection, not only in how intelligent, how let's say difficult, let's say attacks can be identified. Of course, this is one part, but the other part it's also how to use intelligence to help SMEs utilize those tools and those capabilities and protect their services. And finally, a very important part, and actually the part that we are presenting in detail today, it's the skills development on how cybersecurity exercise can be developed to targeting the SMEs. So CyberSuite is not a single tool. It's actually a framework or something even more than that. So we start from basics like tools. So we have tools, as we'll see, a plethora of tools that are using to detect attacks, to identifying a risk of your services, to identify issues on the code, or to make a secure deployment. And all this, we try to build this together as part of an integrated platform that it is easy to use, and SMEs can select the tools that they want to interact with. And finally, this is the part with the online services that are in CyberSuite. We have two kinds of online services: the marketplace, that is an extension of provides extensions to the platform, and the academy. So again, today we're going to focus mostly on the academy part, because in our previous webinars we focused mostly in the CyberSuite platform per se. So the idea is to provide, so I'm giving you a short overview of what the platform is doing, and then my colleagues will go into deeper details on the training part. So in short, CyberSuite has tools and assets that are supporting the DevOps lifecycle and all the steps of it, either for planning, to build, to test, deploy, operate, and monitor phase, through having all the tools and trying to collect them together in a single dashboard. And these multiple tools are have been, let's say, used with AI in order to provide assistance. So we have code analysis, we have a secure deployment part, AI-assisted testing, AI-assisted runtime protection, mitigation, and at the end, the continuous risk management. So we are covering all steps from monitoring and deployment to detection and response. Now, the two main things, it's the integrated platform that collects all tools on the central place and allows the aggregation of data from the various tools, and allows the reusability of the identified data. This allows a multi-layered real-time attack detection, and it is assisted by LLMs for explainability. This is supported by policies, so people can find integrated policies, and these policies can be enhanced can be extended through the CyberSuite marketplace. So in reality, we have CyberSuite installation locally at the organization, on the premises of one organization, and these security capabilities that are provided are extended by the utilization of the marketplace. So the marketplace, it's an online services, and it's an online service that integrates with what you see before about the CyberSuite framework. It offers enhanced visibility for the independent vendors. It allows to build a community, so it offers also the ability to discuss with the who provides services. It allows advanced service exploration and recommendations, and in essence allows to bring additional policies and configuration scripts that SMEs can use to let's say respond to new problems. And that's why it's supporting the vision of CyberSuite to be there and to be to supporting SMEs in their let's say daily problems. Now, where we are at the moment, so we have the integrated platform being available as its alpha version. So we have the pilots we have 4 pilots evaluating CyberSuite in 4 different domains. The alpha version of CyberSuite, it's deployed as a testbed, and you can send us an email to give you access to this. In reality, you will need to share with you an invitation code in order to register and use the platform, or to show you a more, let's say, detailed demo. Of course, I have to remind that we have already some previous recordings from our previous webinars that we present the capabilities of CyberSuite in more details, where today, as I said, we are going to focus. So my colleagues Zoe and Yanis will explain more on the CyberSuite Academy and the training part. So thank you for your attention, and happy to answer any questions on the platform.
Thank you very much, Yanis, for the overview of the CyberSuite Vision platform and marketplace. As Yanis explained before, CyberSuite brings together advanced cybersecurity services into a unified ecosystem, which is specifically designed to support SMEs and digital service providers. However, technology alone is not enough. To fully benefit from these tools, organizations and professionals also need the right skills and knowledge in order to use them effectively. This is where exactly the CyberSuite Academy comes in. The Academy is a key component of the CyberSuite ecosystem. It provides practical cybersecurity training, hands-on exercises, and learning resources in order to help SMEs and IT professionals to strengthen their cybersecurity skills. And in this way, they are able to respond to real-world threats. We will now move to the main session of today's webinar, and it is my pleasure to give the floor to Mrs. Zoe Moza from Joist Innovation Park, who will introduce the CyberSuite Academy and demonstrate how the Academy helps transform cybersecurity technology into practical skills and learning opportunities. So, Zoe, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Georgia. Okay, good morning, everyone. My name is Zoe Moza from Joist Innovation Park, and today I will present the CyberSuite Academy. The focus of this session is to show how the Academy supports cybersecurity upskilling for SMEs through practical courses, structured learning paths, useful resources, and hands-on elements. I will also show how users can get started and access the platform. Today's presentation is structured around 6 main points. First, we will briefly explain why cybersecurity upskilling matters for SMEs. Then we will introduce the CyberSuite Academy and its learning pathways, and after that, we will present the available courses, followed by the additional features of the Academy, including the repository and CyberAgent integration. Finally, we will explain how users can get started, and we will close with a short live walkthrough of the platform. Small and medium-sized enterprises today face growing cybersecurity challenges. They are increasingly targeted by cyber attacks, often because attackers know that smaller organizations may not have dedicated cybersecurity teams or large security budgets. At the same time, human error remains one of the biggest cybersecurity risks. A weak password, a phishing email, an unsafe file, or a poor internal practice can create serious problems for an organization. Many SMEs also lack the time, budget, or specialized staff needed for continuous cybersecurity training. This means that training needs to be practical, accessible, and easy to integrate into daily work. Cyber threats are evolving quickly, so SMEs need learning that is not only theoretical, but directly connected to real business risks. This is why SMEs need cybersecurity learning that is practical, flexible, affordable, and relevant to their operational needs. The CyberSuite Academy was designed to respond exactly to these needs. The Academy is a free online learning platform designed to help SMEs, professionals, and learners strengthen their cybersecurity skills through practical and flexible training. It is free and open access, so there is no cost barrier for users. The courses are short and self-paced, typically ranging from 2 to 15 hours, which makes them easier to follow alongside work responsibilities. The training is based on real cyber threats, business risks, and operational needs. This is very important because the purpose is not only to explain cybersecurity concepts, but to help users understand how these concepts apply in real organizational settings. The Academy brings together several elements: structured courses, repository resources, and cyber range exercises. This means that users can learn, access practical materials, and also engage with hands-on activities. Upon course completion, learners receive certificates, and they can also share their achievements on social media. This can support both individual professional development and SME staff upskilling. The platform is also continuously expanding with new content and contributions from partners and users. The Academy offers structured learning pathways for different experience levels and professional roles. The first level is beginner. This is intended for people who are starting their cybersecurity journey or who need core cybersecurity awareness. It is especially relevant for SME managers, employees, non-technical staff, and learners entering the cybersecurity field. The second level is intermediate. This focuses on more applied and technical cybersecurity knowledge. It is suitable for IT teams, technical staff, security practitioners, and professionals who want to expand their skills. The third level is advanced. This is designed for learners who want to strengthen specialized expertise through deeper technical and investigative topics. It is suitable for cybersecurity professionals, analysts, advanced technical users, and specialists handling complex threats. The important point is that learners do not all need to start from the same place. They can begin at the level that best matches their background and role. This creates a flexible learning journey, supporting both technical and non-technical audiences, while helping SMEs build skills progressively across their teams. At beginner level, the Academy includes courses designed for people who need practical, accessible cybersecurity knowledge without requiring advanced technical expertise. There are several courses. The first course is Cyber Hygiene. This helps learners understand everyday habits that reduce cyber risks in their workplace, such as safer password practices, recognizing suspicious activity, and protecting digital assets. The second course is Basic Encryption and Authentication Methods. This introduces how passwords, encryption, and authentication help secure data and user identities. It is useful for understanding why secure access practices matters. There is also the Cybersecurity Laws and Regulations course. This helps learners gain awareness of key cybersecurity and data protection obligations that affect organizations and SMEs. Another course is Ethical Hacking Basics. At beginner level, this helps users understand common attacker techniques, vulnerabilities, and the basic logic behind ethical security testing. There is also basic cybersecurity risk management for SMEs. This is particularly relevant for small and medium-sized businesses because it helps users identify, assess, and reduce cybersecurity risks in a practical way. Finally, there is the course Common Cybersecurity Threats and Vulnerabilities for SMEs, which focuses on recognizing and preventing common threats such as phishing, ransomware, fraud, and weak internal security practices. Together, these courses are especially useful for SMEs that may not have dedicated cybersecurity departments but still need to build a stronger security culture across their organization. At intermediate level now, the Academy moves into more applied and technical topics. There is the Firewall and Intrusion Detection Systems course, which helps learners understand how organizations monitor, detect, and protect their networks against suspicious activity and cyber threats. There is also the GDPR and Cybersecurity course, which is very important because GDPR compliance and cybersecurity are closely connected. It explains how GDPR requirements apply in practical situations, such as breach response, incidents handling, risk management, and operational compliance. Another course is the Application Vulnerability Testing. This supports learners in identifying and understanding common security weaknesses in applications through practical testing approaches. Finally, there is the Mastering CyberRange course, which introduces hands-on exercises, simulations, and realistic attack scenarios in a safe environment. These intermediate courses are designed for IT teams, technical staff, and professionals who want to move from awareness to practical implementation. At advanced level, the Academy currently includes the course Forensic Analysis Techniques. This course introduces essential forensic analysis techniques, including network, memory, disk, and mobile forensics. It is designed for advanced learners and cybersecurity professionals who may be involved in incident investigation, evidence handling, or analysis of compromised systems. This is also an area that will continue to grow. Additional advanced courses are already under development and will be added to the Academy soon. The Academy is not a static training offer, it is gradually expanding to cover more specialized cybersecurity needs. Beyond the structured courses, the CyberSuite Academy also provides additional tools and resources to support practical cybersecurity learning. There are two important elements here. The first is a cybersecurity repository where users can access curated guides, templates, tools, standards, and practical resources. And the second is CyberRange integration, which allows users to strengthen their skills through interactive exercises and realistic simulation scenarios. You will see more about CyberRange exercises available under the Academy in the following presentation by Incubit. So the Academy is not only a course catalog, it combines structured learning with practical resources and hands-on experience. The repository is an important part of the Academy because it provides practical cybersecurity resources that support both learning and real organizational needs. Users can find guides and practical documentation, templates, tools and frameworks, standards, white papers, and reference material. The repository is searchable and categorized across different cybersecurity topics, which makes it easier for users to find relevant material. For SMEs, this is useful because it can support internal processes, strengthen awareness, provide practical implementation resources, and help organizations stay informed on cybersecurity practices and requirements. In other words, the repository helps users move from learning to application. Another important point is that the repository is community-driven. The Academy is not static. Users and partners can also contribute resources and help continuously expand the knowledge base. This creates a collaborative cybersecurity learning ecosystem where the content can grow over time and respond to the needs of the community. This is also important for long-term sustainability because the Academy can continue evolving beyond the initial training material. Getting started with the Academy is very simple. The first step is to register. Users can create a free account of the CyberSuite Academy platform in just a few minutes. The second step is to choose a learning path. Users can explore beginner, intermediate, and advanced courses depending on their role, interests, and experience level. And the third step is to start learning and earn certificate. Courses are available immediately. Users can learn at their own pace, complete the activities, and receive their certificates. The key point is that the Academy is free, self-paced, and immediately accessible. This makes it especially suitable for SMEs, professionals, and learners with limited time but clear upskilling needs. Certificates are also an important motivation element. Learners who complete Cybersecurity Academy courses receive certificates recognizing their cybersecurity upskilling. They can also share their achievements on social media platforms such as LinkedIn, which gives them visibility and evidence of continuous learning. For SMEs, this is useful in several ways. It supports internal staff development and upskilling. It provides evidence that employees have participated in cybersecurity training activities. It encourages continuous learning and employee engagement, and it helps increase organizational cybersecurity awareness. So certificates are not only a personal achievement, they can also support the SME's wider training and cybersecurity culture. Now I will move to a short live walkthrough of the Academy. So this is the home page of the CyberSuite Academy. Here you can see some information about the CyberSuite project, and you can also access the CyberSuite platform, the CyberSuite marketplace, and also the CyberSuite project website. In the courses section, you can find all the available courses. You can also filter the courses by category and level. For example, if you choose the beginner level, you will get only the courses that are available for beginners. And if you choose a relevant category, for example, introduction to cybersecurity, then you will see all the courses that are available under this category. In the repository section,
Zoe, sorry for interrupting, but your voice is breaking. Could you please turn off your video? Because I think that this is the problem. Okay. Thank you. Please continue.
Here at the CyberSuite repository, we have 4 pillars of resources. You can find resources under the Cybersecurity Fundamentals category, Technical Skills Development, Operational and Compliance Training, and Advanced Technology and Threats. For example, if I enter the Operational and Compliance Training category, here you can further filter the available resources by difficulty level, by type of the resource. We have several types of resources available at the moment, as the repository has approximately now 60 resources, and it's continuously developing, and by subcategory. For example, if I choose the risk management category, I will get all the available resources under risk management, and I can further add filters here, for example, for advanced level difficulty, and I can get all the available resources under these filters. Also, we have a resource submission form. Here you can also add your own resources if you have developed resources, for example, courses that are available or tools or other material that is relevant to cybersecurity by just entering the resource title, a short description of the resource type by choosing from the drop-down menu, and adding the, relevant information such as the author or creator of the resource, the difficulty level, the languages in which the resource is available, and also the link to access or download the resource and the relevant category in order to add it in the repository. We also have here the webinar section. Here you can find the recorded session of our previous webinars, and also you can access the hackathon material. Here you can find the first hackathon material, which took place this October. You can find the documentation, the videos, and the presentations of the CyberSuite tools that were tested during the hackathon, as well as the challenges that were given to participants in order to test the tools. Also here you can access the cyber range exercises, for which we will talk later. As you can see, we have already 4 exercises available. And finally, there is a support section with frequently asked questions about the Academy, a contact form if you want to get in contact with a CyberSuite team, and a feedback form for those who would like to provide us with feedback for the Academy, which is always more than welcome. So if you, to conclude, I invite you to join the CyberSuite Academy. You can access it at academy.cybersuiteproject.eu. Registration takes only a few minutes and users can immediately start learning, explore the available exercises, courses, access practical resources, and earn certificates. We also strongly welcome feedback because this will help us improve the Academy and make it even more useful for SMEs, professional learners, and the wider cybersecurity community. So please visit the platform, register, explore the courses, and share it with your colleagues, project networks, and anyone who could benefit from cybersecurity upskilling. So thank you very much for your attention.
Okay, thank you very much, Zoe, for your very insightful presentation. I would also like to warmly encourage everyone in the audience to visit the CyberSuite Academy, explore the available training courses and material, and enroll in the topics that are most relevant to your needs and interests. As we saw, the Academy provides a flexible and practical way for SMEs, professionals, and learners to strengthen their cybersecurity knowledge, skills, and gain valuable new skills and knowledge. So, however, cybersecurity learning is not only about theory and online courses. Practical experience and hands-on training are equally important for building real cybersecurity readiness and response capabilities. This brings us to the next presentation of today's webinar. Now it is my pleasure to give the floor to Mr. Yannis Makropodis from Incubit, who will introduce the cyber range exercises and demonstrate how hands-on cybersecurity training can help SMEs to improve their practical cybersecurity skills through realistic scenarios and simulations. So, Yannis, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Georgia. So this presentation is about bridging the non-technical skills gap. The agenda for today is to, first of all, divide the classic learning versus the hands-on learning, to say why cyber ranges matter for SMEs, to mention the CyberSuite and Incubate training role, to present the 4 CyberSuite CyberAid games, to show how SMEs can try the exercises, and finally we have an SME pilot roadmap. So the starting point is the difference between knowing and doing. Classic learning is still valuable because it introduces concepts, rules, and policies. However, cybersecurity incidents do not happen in a classroom. They happen under pressure, with incomplete information, and often with business consequences. Hands-on learning puts the learner inside the realistic situation and asks them to make decisions. This is why CyberAid exercises are valuable for SMEs. They transform awareness into repeated action. The goal here is not to replace classic learning completely, but to use it as preparation for a practical rehearsal. A cyber range is a controlled environment where users can experience realistic cyber events without endangering real systems. The important word is rehearsal. In a cyber range, the learner does not just read about an attack, they interact with a scenario, make choices, and see the impact of those choices. This is useful for both technical and non-technical audiences. For employees, it can mean phishing recognition and reporting. For IT teams, it can mean incident triage, containment, and recovery. And for managers, it can mean understanding what decisions are needed during a ransomware event. The range makes mistakes safe and turns them into learners. As aforementioned on Yanni's presentation, SMEs face a difficult reality. They are digital enough to be exposed, but usually not large enough to maintain the same security capacity as an enterprise. This creates a gap between risk and readiness. Attackers exploit that gap through phishing, stolen passwords, ransomware, and weak processes. But for an SME, the impact is not only technical. It can mean downtime, lost customers, reputational damage, and pressure on management. That is why the training model must be realistic and efficient. SMEs need practical exercises that build useful habits quickly and can be repeated over time. So the audience here is not only technical stuff. Cybersecurity decisions happen across the organization. Managers decide where to escalate, who to contact, and how to protect business continuity. Employees decide whether to click, report, or ignore suspicious activity. IT teams and managed service providers handle investigation and containment. A good SME training path should therefore be role-based. Some exercises can be very accessible, such as phishing recognition. Others can be more technical, such as password cracking or ransomware response. The point here is to create the right learning path for each group. So we can say that we have three groups, the managers and the owners, in which they have the risk, continued escalation business decisions. We have the employees, in which we have the attacks of phishing, password, safe reporting, and daily habits, and the IT and service providers, where there are the containments, recovery, and forensic thinking. So how CyberSuite solves all these problems? CyberSuite addresses the SME problem from two sides. On one side, SMEs need tools and services that are easier to access, deploy, and understand. And on the other side, they need people who can actually use those services and respond correctly during incidents. The academy that previously Zoe presented, it is the human capability part of this ecosystem. It provides training content and practical exercises. On the other hand, the cyber range adds the most important element, action. Instead of simply reading about a threat, learners interact with a scenario. This is why the CyberSuite is useful for SMEs, because it combines cybersecurity service adoption with skills development and awareness. So, what Incubit solves in this situation? Incubit is the task leader of task 5.3 CyberSuite Academy gamification services. And this task is about educational service bundles, cyber range exercises, simulation, and gamification activities. This is exactly the missing link for many SMEs, not only a list of recommendations, but also a practical exercises that learners can actually use. The value of Incubit is to translate the technical cybersecurity topics into a guided, game-based experience. Okay, so let's start by analyzing the 4 games that are now online in the CyberSuite Academy. The first game is the social engineering. This is the best entry point for most SMEs because it is relevant to every employee. The learner sees suspicious emails and must identify common red flags, spoofed addresses, urgent language, misspellings, suspicious links, and unsafe attachments. The value of this exercise is not only that people learn what phishing looks like, but the value is that they practice the decision process, meaning slow down, inspect the message, avoid clicking, and report the incident. In a real SME, a faster report can give IT or the MSP time to block the attack before it spreads. So we can say that this is the best exercise for all SME employees. And the learning outcome here is the phishing recognition, the safer decisions, and faster reporting. The next game is the password cracking attacks. The password cracking attacks game is useful because it shows the attacker. It shows the attacker perspective actually. Many users understand the phrase "use strong passwords," but they do not really see why weak passwords fail. In this exercise, learners practice dictionary and rule-based attacks on password hashes using tools such as Hashcat. The aim is not to teach everyone offensive techniques. The aim is to make password risk visible. When a learner sees how predictable words, company names, dates, and simple variation can be cracked, the value of strong, unique passwords and multi-factor authentication becomes much more concrete. This is the best exercise for credential hygiene culture, and the learning outcome is the unique credentials, the stronger passphrases, and the multi-factor authentication adoption. The third game is the ransomware response. This game is the strongest exercise for connecting business and technical decision-making. The scenario starts from a phishing email and develops into a ransomware incident. The learners analyze the attack vector, look at malware behavior, identify indicator of compromise, and make containment choices. Then they face the difficult recovery questions, which is, do we restore from backups, attempt decryption, or consider payment? The DG goal is not to solve every technical detail in one session. The goal is to rehearse the first hour of response, because that is where confusion, delay, and poor escalation can create serious damage. This is the best exercise for managers and IT together, and the learning outcome here is faster triage, clearer escalation, and better recovery decisions. Finally, the last game that we have until now is the broken document. It is a different type of exercise. Instead of focusing only on phishing or ransomware, it trains file integrity and recovery thinking. Learners can receive corrupted company files in different formats, such as PDF, docx, JPEG, and MP3. They inspect damaged file signatures and apply basic digital forensics methods to repair and recover the files. This is useful for SMEs because data recovery and evidence handling are often overlooked. It teaches learners to think carefully about what happened to a file, how to validate it, and how recovery works. This game is the best exercise for integrity and recovery skills, and the learning outcome here is the file integrity awareness, the recovery logic, and forensic reasoning. So how you can try to play these games? First of all, you have to go to the CyberSuite Academy and the CyberRange page. To create or use a logged-in CyberSuite Academy account. To start with engineering or broken documents first, which are the easiest, let's say, CyberRange exercises. Run the exercises, use the debrief to capture mistakes and update procedures. It is important to say that after the game, this is the most important part, the debrief, because here we can see what did people miss, what procedure was unclear, what should be changed. This makes the exercise useful beyond the training session itself. And then repeat the exercise after policy or process improvements. So what happens after each game? The learner completes a realistic scenario or a challenge. The platform records completion and progress indicators. The facilitator reviews common mistakes and decisions. The SMEs updates procedures, controls, or reporting paths. The team repeats the game to confirm improvement. And the progress tracking supports motivation and accountability. We can say that the CyberRange game should not be treated as one-time entertainment activity, but the game is the trigger for this learning cycle. Finally, I have an SME pilot roadmap. I think a good SME rollout should be short and realistic. In the first 2 weeks, define who participates, what risks matter most, and what baseline information you want to collect. In weeks 3 and 4, onboard users and schedule the first sessions. In weeks 5 to 8, run the first 2 exercises, preferably one awareness focus and one more technical or recovery focused. In week 9 and 10, debrief and update procedures. This step is very critical. As we aforementioned, training must produce actually operational improvements. And finally, in weeks 11 and 12, you can add a more advanced exercise, such as ransomware response or password cracking. As a conclusion, we can say that the final message is this: SMEs do not need more awareness alone. Awareness is necessary, but it does not automatically create readiness. Readiness comes from rehearsal. CyberRange exercises allow SMEs to practice realistic decisions in a safe environment. CyberSuite Academy provides a practical way to start, and the IT games give the SMEs concrete scenarios like phishing, password cracking, ransomware response, and file recovery. And finally, my recommendation is to start small. Use the social engineering and broken document first, measure the behavior and the feedback, and then add more advanced exercises. That's all from my side. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Yanis, for this very interesting presentation and for showing the practical value of the CyberSuite cyber range exercises. As we saw, hands-on training and realistic simulation scenarios can play a very important role in helping SMEs to strengthen their cybersecurity preparedness and improve their response capabilities in a safe and practical environment, as Yanis said earlier. However, cybersecurity is not only about tools and technical exercises. Building a strong cybersecurity culture and increasing awareness across organizations are equally important elements for improving resilience against cyber threats. For this reason, our next presentation will focus on cybersecurity awareness challenges and practical approaches for SMEs. It is now my pleasure to give the floor to Mr. Charalambos Klitis from EBOS, who will present the NERO project perspective on cyber awareness and organizational readiness. So, Charalambos, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Georgia, and thank you to the CyberSuite project for the invitation. My name is Charalambos Klitis, and I'm the technical project manager of the NERO project. And in this presentation, I'm going to discuss and show what challenges the SMEs are facing for cybersecurity and some practical approaches on what type of threats and how to protect themselves. More specific, as the NERO project is focuses on the cybersecurity for the SMEs, I'm going to give a short introduction what is cybersecurity and why does it matter for SMEs, some key concepts and what the European Commission have as directive enacts and is trying to improve the security of SMEs, followed by the more general perspective and some practical approaches of what attacks the SMEs can find, how to be aware of them, and how to protect themselves. We saw quite a few already today from the previous speakers, from some excellent presentations, but I'm going to go a bit here in depth as well. Just to mention that this presentation is part of NERO's suite of trainings and is the first training about the fundamentals of cybersecurity for SMEs. So it's a very high level presentation for non-technical people about cybersecurity. And through this, we are building as a NERO project with more advanced trainings after it. So without further ado, what is cybersecurity? So cybersecurity is the art of protecting ourselves and our digital infrastructure against any attempt to access it or alter it. So it's just a shield that protects our computers, our mobile devices, our data against any outside attempt to access them and alter them. These attacks comes from cyber criminals, from different malicious groups, and from state governments even. And now probably some of you are saying what he's saying, state governments will not attack SMEs. However, SMEs are the backbone of the European economy. SMEs are targeted from everywhere. So we need to be careful. And so in essence, cybersecurity ensures the protection of the digital infrastructure from any attempts to order them, attack them, and make them available and trustworthy to use. So why cybersecurity matters? In today's age, everything's online. This helps the SMEs to work from anywhere, to access information, and to make things simple. However, this availability creates some risk, some vulnerabilities, and the weakest link is the entry point and our downfall. So cybersecurity is a stopping hand that blocks any attacks that is coming inwards for SMEs and trying to access the data. What happens when this fails, and it's one of the major challenges of the SMEs, financial loss. If you lose information, you are going to be asked from ransomware to release this information. You are going to have downtime, so that means loss of revenue. Financial cost is big. Data theft, with some of the directives that we're going to see later, losing information is a huge deal. Losing credit cards, losing personal data, it can create huge risk, especially if you are a critical area like a financial or healthcare or substation. It's a huge problem losing data. Reputation damage, an SME that get an attack, and this will be published, obviously, you are forced to announce the attack, will lose reputation. Some reputation can do such damage that you can never recover. In today's age, the name and the reputation of a company is very important. So a cyber attack can permanently close an SME without deep pockets. So some cybersecurity key concepts that as SMEs we need to keep in mind. We have the SIA triad. I will explain that later. A very important concept. Authentication. We always authenticate our users. Who is who and why needs to access this information. Defense in depth. We are getting the defense very serious, zero trust approach. I'm going to explain this in a bit. And the human element. The most important thing for SMEs is human in the middle. Humans are the weakest link usually in the storyline, so we need to be careful. So, key concept, SIA triad. C stands for confidentiality. Keep all data private, but accessible to authorized users. Integrity, ensure the data you are sharing are unaltered and accurate. And availability, make sure systems and information are accessible when needed. Some other concept, a risk and threat management. So when you are as an SME, you hear about the risk and threat management. You know what threat is something that can cause harm to you. Vulnerability is why this threat can cause harm to you and what is exploited to do harm. And risk is the potential damage you are going to have. It's simple as that. And the mitigation is what steps you need to take in order to avoid this risk. So early mitigation is better than having to take this threat. Human factor, one of the most important aspects of cybersecurity, especially for SMEs. Most cyber attacks today will exploit the human error. From phishing mails, cyber engineering, we already heard this before in today's webinar. Human factor is quite important. So ongoing training, already CyberSuite project have showcased a very nice way to access trainings. Nero has something very similar as well. Always invest in training about cybersecurity. Zero trust, I already mentioned that you never trust. You always verify and you conduct authentication, constant authentication. If you keep this in mind, the zero trust principle is a key for European Commission today. It's a way to success. Mentioning European Commission, what the European Commission has done for SMEs and what is the principle the European Commission is working. The European Commission is working in 3 pillars: resilience, protection, and trust and cooperation. These pillars have each of them a directive or more than one. The GDPR, I'm going to explain it a bit. The EU Cybersecurity Act came in effect in 2019. Needs two directives. One of the most important directives that is now in effect, the Digital Operation Resilience Act. The EU Cyber Resilience Act, which is about trust and cooperation. EU Solidarity Act. Again, it's a proposal that will come in effect soon. Now, more in detail, GDPR, mentioned that a few times, you already probably know it. As SMEs, we need to focus to protect personal data, give citizens the right to control their data, and impose strict rules on how to use the data. So as SMEs, we are obliged to follow GDPR. and you need to know what and how you do it. NIS2 directive is coming in effect, or it coming in effect this month or the next one. It's very important, and it's about all the critical sectors. And the critical sectors have been expanded quite a lot with NIS2 compared to NIS, and includes financial, healthcare, transportation, water supplies, energy, and a lot more. And under the NIS2, you need to have a mandatory reporting of any incident. You require to have a risk management, and you need to enforce management and accountability of any cybersecurity failure. It's probably one of the biggest changes in the European Commission about cybersecurity, and is what is going to protect SMEs from future attacks if taken serious. Finally, we have some cybersecurity standards. Standard probably you heard before, like the ISO 27001, and it's a way to measure if a company follows some processes and some compliance testing for cybersecurity. So when an SME working with a vendor which have an ISO, it tells them that this vendor or this SME, it follows some protocols. However, we need to be careful. The ISO is only true at the time of the audit. In theory, whoever has the ISO should follow these directives and this standard. Doesn't mean it doesn't. So don't say, okay, as an SME, I'm going to events only with ISO standards. It means nothing. Take care of your cybersecurity and your vendors. Now, as an SME, you are going to see some common attacks, and these attacks are divided in 4 groups. The first group is the human factor, human focus. We're going to discuss this in detail in the next few slides. Network-based. Most SMEs doesn't need to care about network-based. You don't have your own infrastructure, or if you have, someone else is handling, but it's good to know them. Malware-based. This will come through the human attacks, but I'm going to show some examples today. And technical exploits. Again, mostly of SMEs will not handle their own infrastructure. However, as you saw in this presentation today, from the technical perspective of the CyberSuite project, it's good to know them because technical security is important as well. So we have a variety of attacks that I'm not going to go in detail in all of them. I'm going to show only 4 important of them today. But some examples are the phishing attacks. Already discussed this today. Social engineering, we're going to see in detail as well, but already discussed. Insider threat, probably one of the most important attacks for SMEs. Ransomwares, people taking your data and ask for ransoms for payment. Viruses, I think everyone has come across a virus in his lifetime. Trojans, you're opening a backdoor to someone to access your systems. DDoS, too technical. Probably most of the SMEs doesn't need to know what DDoS is, but someone is just trying to bring your system down with multiple continuous attack to overload your systems. Man in the middle, very important. A lot of theft is done with man in the middle. Someone intercepts your emails, your exchange of information, and gets a lot of your money. SQL rejection, some more technical, but in fact, your databases, your information for all the data stored, and zero-day attacks are something that comes from unknown sources and from unknown vulnerabilities. And supply chain is what I mentioned before about your vendors. Supply chain attacks comes if one of your vendors is malicious or has a vulnerability, can attack you as well. So going in more in detail, phishing attack, what is phishing attacks and how does it work? Someone will send you an email, a message asking you for some personal information or has a link for you to press in order to gain access to your information. Usually it's an unusual request, so you need to be very careful that if you see an unusual request that you don't expect, or you see some typos, or check the email address URL in full, don't see only the name. This is a very easy way to find phishing emails. but phishing has started to become very smart and it's a very dangerous attack. But usually, if something doesn't make sense, it's not secure. Contact the person who has sent you the email in a different way and check it out. Ensure this is indeed a request. It's a very good practice for all the SMEs to take phishing trainings. Already the CyberSuite project shows some of them today. As Nero project, we have as well some quite good phishing trainings. There is open source free phishing trainings. It's important for every SME. Social engineering. It's unbelievable how many things we're sharing in social media today about our personal lives. This is one probably of the most dangerous things that you can do, because hackers, malicious persons will use them to gain access to you and use them to get your information. When you receive a phone call about some of your family members that are sick, you are not going to think twice. You are not going to step back and think, oh, this may be a phishing email. Maybe this is a social engineering attack. Be careful what you're sharing in the social media and be careful on what information you are trusting that people can easily. Insider threat, majority of the attack from SME are from inside. Either with malicious, someone from inside your company wants to do bad to you, or negligent is the most typical. Negligent, you receive an email, you press the link, phishing attack. This is negligent. It can happen. Train your personnel, ensure SMEs do not get attacked by inside. Also, ensure for malicious inside threat, monitor what people are doing inside the network. It's simple as that. What a person requesting, does he need to have access? Why he needs to have access? Ensure insider threats are linked. And finally, today age, AI is everywhere. AI attacks is here and will stay. It's as easy as ever someone to create an attack. In the past, attacks were slow to react, were slow to happen. Today, in under a few minutes, I can create an attack in one of the prompts. I can have your system with thousands of attacks in a single time. We need to be careful. We need to protect ourselves against this attack and ensure we don't exploit human trust and physiology here. So now some things to do and some practical things to protect yourself. Easy stuff. This list is not excessive. It's just limited here, but it's the most important. Password authentications. I see a lot of SMEs not care about passwords, or they don't force their employees to change passwords recently. Change your password a lot. Use double authentication. And no, SMS are not double authentication. I can intercept an SMS easily. Aware, make sure what people are doing, they have access. And don't plug USBs or don't overshare in social media, and log your screen when you leave your PC. And device hygiene, update your devices. Ensure you have automatic updates. You are up to date cybersecurity updates. And when a mobile device is out of update, it's time to change. This is some of the most important. Thank you, and I'm open to any questions necessary. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Charalambos, for this very insightful presentation. You clearly showed how cybersecurity awareness training and organizational readiness are becoming increasingly important for SMEs operating in today's complex digital environment. With this presentation, we have now completed the main session of today's webinar, and we will now move to the Q&A session. This is a great opportunity to ask questions, share your thoughts, or learn more about the CyberSuite platform, services, training opportunities, and capabilities presented today. If you have not done so, please feel free to post your questions in the chat, and our speakers will be happy to address them. I would now like to invite Mrs. Georgia Padelidi from EBOS, our dissemination and communication partner, who will moderate today's Q&A session. So, Georgia, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Georgia, and thank you to all the presenters. As you mentioned, I encourage everyone to post your questions in the Q&A section of this meeting. We have received one question, reading for SMEs with limited resources and no dedicated cybersecurity team. What are the most important first steps to improve cybersecurity awareness and preparedness? Can CyberSuite support this first step? I don't know, perhaps Yanis or Georgia, you'd like to take this question?
Yeah, I think I can take it. So, yeah, CyberSuite definitely it's a good, let's say, starting point for this. And I think the reason it's because it combines also the awareness and training part together with the availability of tools that can be utilized. So you can learn some cybersecurity basics because someone cannot be, in order to try to protect things, so you must somehow learn the basics. And then if you have some basic knowledge, I think also the tools and the integrated LLM that can help on explainability. So if something is found broken, let's say, on your application, to guide you a bit on the next steps, it is, I think, a good starting point. And also the inclusion of risk assessment and risk management part, it's also important because it is some of the requirements, as also has been explained by Haralambos from the previous presentation. It is important for the SMEs to take care of such parts for based on the legislation that it is now enforced by the EU.
Exactly. Thank you, Yanis. And I just have some questions maybe to help with the discussion until maybe we get some more questions in the Q&A. I don't know if Haralambos or Yanis Makropoudis, what do you think? But in your opinion, which are the cybersecurity skills that will become the most important for SMEs in the next few years?
Perhaps I can take this. I don't think there is a single skill that stands out as important. What is important is to be aware. Awareness is to start from awareness and training. Then if we have to separate one skill that we need to is to identify malicious activity from phishing email. As SMEs is not expected, I'm not expecting SMEs to become experts in cybersecurity or have expert, but people inside SMEs need to be able to identify phishing and social engineering attacks. Need to be able to pick out and act and react, let's say.
Thank you, Harald.
I will agree full with Haralambos, and I also compliment that the team communication is very important in SMEs because as in the presentation, they don't have cybersecurity. So it is very important to coordinate between employees, managers, IT staff, and external support.
Exactly. Thank you both. Another comment we have received is that the human factor is considered as the weakest link in cybersecurity. It will be interesting to discuss which the strongest link might be. Any opinions of that?
I would say it doesn't exist.
Yes.
The most important is the weakest link. You are as strong as the weakest link. So if you're weak, is weak, you're weak. So there's no strong link in cybersecurity, for me at least.
Perhaps working on the skills within the company. That's the main point here. So working on the skills of the company to avoid having the human factor as a risk for cybersecurity.
I fully agree with you, Georgia, about this. Yes, since the human factor is the weakest link in cybersecurity, if we aim to increase the skills and the awareness of the employees, we will be able to strengthen the cybersecurity posture of a company. And this is also can be achieved not only through awareness and through knowledge sharing and increase, but also through the tools and the technology that the companies use. And here is how CyberSuite platform can support SMEs in today's digital landscape. So apart from the academy, I mean, and the educational resources that CyberSuite offers, it complements this through the platform and the marketplace, and offers a holistic approach towards increasing SMEs cybersecurity.
Yes, thank you, Georgia. Perhaps to add on this, I don't know, Zoe, what you consider, but do you think that the cybersecurity awareness should involve all the employees or just the IT teams in a company?
I think that everyone should be aware of potential risks in order to avoid human mistakes. If mistakes usually happen from one person and affect the whole team, so awareness is key in a company in order to avoid cyber attacks and cyber threats, especially now that AI becomes more powerful and is used almost everywhere. It is very important that everyone is aware of potential threats and mistakes that they can avoid.
Exactly. And perhaps one last question. What do you think motivates mostly the organizations to invest in cybersecurity training today? Don't know, Georgia, if you have a comment on this, or Yanis. What do you think is the main motivation?
The incidents. Only
That there
this.
much more common nowadays. And I think with this, we conclude the Q&A session. I don't see any other questions posted, but feel free to contact us after the webinar as well if you have any more questions. And also, as mentioned before, this recording will be posted on the project's website, so you can always revisit and watch again. And I will pass the floor to Georgia for some final comments before we close.
Thank you very much, Georgia, for moderating the discussion, and many thanks to all our speakers for their valuable contributions and presentations that made in today's webinar. I would also like to sincerely thank our audience for the questions, participation, and interest in the project. Today's session highlighted how CyberSuite brings together advanced cybersecurity technologies, practical tools, hands-on training, and skills development activities, with the ultimate goal to support SMEs in strengthening their cybersecurity resilience and readiness. I would also like once more to warmly encourage all of you to join the CyberSuite Academy, explore the available courses and cyber range exercises, It is the material that has been created there is very useful, very informative, and I'm sure that you will find a lot of interesting information in this content. We would also greatly appreciate if you could share the Academy with your colleagues, peers, and professional networks so that more organizations and professionals can strengthen their cybersecurity knowledge and skills and better prepare for future cyber threats and the continuously evolving cybersecurity landscape. On behalf of the entire CyberSuite consortium, I would like once again to thank you all, our speakers, for their excellent presentations, and of course, all of you who joined us today. I don't know if Yannis Ledakis, our technical project manager, would like to add something in this closure session.
Well, thank you, Georgia. I think that we have heard very informative information, both from CyberSuite and Nero, and also the questions were very, I think, useful. And I want to thank everyone for joining.
Okay, so if you would like to learn more about the project, explore the platform, or join the CyberSuite Academy, please feel free to visit our website and follow our upcoming activities and events. Thank you once more for joining us today, and we were wishing you to have a wonderful day ahead. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Thank you.
Goodbye.